Session 11, Valuing Diversity. Today's session focuses on appreciating one another's differences and thinking critically about discrimination. Participants will reflect on how people sometimes judge one another without totally understanding their situations. The group will also be encouraged to think about how their lives and the lives of their friends and family have been affected by discrimination. Families will plan responses to create a safe and fair environment. Activities will highlight the significance of identity and culture as sources of strength and pride, and discuss the importance of developing respectful relationships between diverse groups. The session starts as usual by getting together and welcoming participants to today's activities. You can briefly introduce the theme of today's session, valuing diversity and dealing with discrimination. Invite the elder to conduct whatever ceremony, protocol, or acknowledgements are appropriate for the session. You can budget about 5 minutes for this portion of the program. After the opening is mealtime. If you decide that it's appropriate, you can ask the elder to bless or give thanks for the food. Invite families to serve themselves and give priority and assistance to elders and anyone else who might need extra help. Make sure that everyone lends a hand to clean up. In total, the meal should take about 30 minutes. Once you've finished eating and cleaned up, you'll be collecting feedback on the last session from participants and introducing today's main activities in a bit more detail. This should take about 15 minutes and involves asking the group the following questions. Last week, we talked about bullying and peer communication. What were some of the takeaway messages from that session? Review the take-home activity. How many families held a talking circle? Was it an interesting or useful way to talk about family harmony? After collecting feedback, you'll be briefly explaining today's activities and giving families a rundown on the reasoning behind what we're doing. Refer to the manual for a suggested script to help introduce the topic of valuing diversity. Next, ask the group to split up for breakout activities for the next hour or so. Ask everyone to have their booklets on hand. The youth will begin with a discussion in the format of a talking circle. The manual provides guidelines, scripts, and discussion prompts to help you walk participants through a conversation about diversity and discrimination. After wrapping up the talking circle, you'll be leading youth through 2 short activities. The first one asks youth to assign roles to one another for an imaginary event and invites youth to think about which people's strengths map onto different kinds of tasks. The second activity gives participants an opportunity to share their ideas about the positive and unique attributes of their peers. Take a look at the manual for detailed instructions for each of these activities. They should both take about 15 minutes to do. Adults will also be holding a talking circle. You should aim to lead the discussion through a range of topics, all explained in detail in the manual. These touch on discrimination, biases, and prejudice. The conversations will also ask parents to think critically about how they can best apply themselves to their children's encounters with discrimination. You'll also explore the idea of community resilience and how action at the group level might trickle down and improve people's experiences at the individual level. Once the breakout activities come to an end, families will get back together to brainstorm family discrimination response plans, which they can find in their youth and adult booklets. If there's enough time available, they can also work on the possible responses page in the youth booklet. A script to help deliver this portion of the session is included in the manual, and altogether it should take about 15 minutes. After the discussion, facilitators running 2.5-hour sessions will hear from the elder, while facilitators running 2-hour sessions will be finishing up today's activities. If you're running 2.5-hour sessions, invite the elder to speak. We suggest that they tell a story or offer advice that touches on the themes of discrimination and diversity. They can also offer feedback on what they saw and heard throughout the session. Once the elder finishes speaking, participants can ask questions and discuss. Please set aside about 20 minutes for the elder's talk and the conversation that follows. Session 11 wraps up after the elder's talk. We recommend that you thank participants for their presence and let them know that you're looking forward to seeing them at the following session. Next, explain the take-home activity, which asks participants to think about the idea of trust and what makes people trustworthy. Finally, you can lead participants through a relaxation exercise or ask the elder to offer a closing word or observe any other meaningful practice. Please keep in mind that this video is only a summary of the session. Make sure to read the detailed description in the manual and to prepare the material as indicated. Thank you for your role in bringing the Listening to One Another program to families in your community.